YouTube. We are on the road now on our way to Gatlinburg. So we had to stop by Cycle Gear. We got a later start than what we planned. The roads were a little wetter than what we thought they were going to be this morning starting out. I worked a double yesterday, so I didn't get to do a lot of the things I wanted to do for the bikes before we headed out. And we are now on the road finally. It is 10:17, and so we're headed to Gatlinburg, and this is Jess's first long ride on her bike. We did rides like this before, but never overnight rides. So she's traveled more miles in one day than what we're going to travel today, but never stayed overnight, never had to pack for it, never had to do any of that kind of stuff. So here we are. We've chosen to we have decided that we're going to take a lot of interstate to try to get up there, just because we don't want to be traveling real late, and we want to be able to get out there, do some sightseeing, and do some things that we've been wanting to do, or especially Jess has been wanting to do for a while. So with all of that being said, Jess just got her motorcycle endorsement this past week. Whoop, 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 whoop. Yep. So she had her permit and bought her motorcycle in September for her birthday, and she started riding. She's been doing great, absolutely phenomenal, and she aced her stinking test. Yes, sir, aced it. I'm talking made 100 on everything. She actually tested better than she did during the class. So, but with that being said, I wanted to talk about the class, the MSF Motorcycle Safety Foundation class, from two different points of view. I've been riding for 24 years, and I've had a couple of spurts where I didn't ride for a few years here and there, but for the most part, I've been riding for a long time. And I have a lot of miles under my belt. And then we have a new rider who didn't have many miles under her belt, but took the class. So, and we took the same class at the same time with the same teachers. So, depending on this wind noise, we may end up not being able to record this section right now. But we're going to attempt to. So, Jess, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, before the class, going into it, what did you expect?
I'm not really sure what exactly I expected. I mean, I don't know, like I wasn't sure if it was going to be a lot of like technical things, like this is how your bike works or what. I think it is different because of COVID, because you don't have the classroom part. It's mostly outside. But I don't think that I expected it to be as much riding as it was, and I don't think I expected it to be the type of riding that it was.
So, as far as the type, you mean like starting with the basics of the riding?
Yeah, and I think because, I mean, I don't have that many miles, but I think because I had already been riding and had my permit, that maybe the beginning of it, some of it felt a little redundant, like finding your clutch threshold and things like that.
Now, let's talk about that for a second. I thought what they had us do with rocking the bikes was actually really helpful, especially going from our bikes onto a bike we've never been on before.
Yeah.
So that would be a technique that would actually be really, really nice to have in your back pocket for when you go from one bike to another.
Yeah, I was going to say that too, like test riding bikes, or if you have to ride someone else's to get it home for them or whatever, like it is something good to have. I'm not really sure what I expected it to be like.
Yeah.
And I told you after the class that I think if that had been the first time I'd been on a motorcycle, I'm not sure that I would have loved it as much as I do, because it makes you think technically, and it almost makes it seem more difficult than it is, because they have to teach you a certain way. And if you had never been on a motorcycle and you didn't understand how your four appendages worked when riding, to be in that class, hold on, to be in that class, you would feel like it was a lot of, like, you had to think to do it. Yeah. Does that make sense? Like, when she says, and they're explaining to you, you've got to bring the rag, but then you've also got to switch gears, and you've also got to apply your back brakes, and it seems like it would be a lot of thinking when it's really not.
Yeah. So you're now doing 75 miles an hour right now.
Well, I know. I'm trying to get around this truck.
I know. No, I'm just letting you know that.
Yeah.
I know you said you couldn't get your feet on. So, so I guess going into it from an experienced rider's, point of view, I honestly expected to be bored out of my mind. I really did. I thought I was going to be absolutely bored to death and not be able to learn anything at all. But it was opposite of that. I was not bored, and it might have had something to do with I was on a new bike. I was just it was a different bike than what I'm used to riding, so that might have played a role in it. But the teachers kept it nice and rolling, kept the classroom going. Seeing other students that A, had never ridden before, or B, had ridden, but had been a while, refresh a love for their bikes or for motorcycling, or with the new riders, seeing that joy, because as a veteran rider, I still have that joy. I still have that smile. I still get that look on my face. I still get that flutter in my heart, my belly, whatever you want to call it, on a day-to-day basis. When I throw my leg over a motorcycle, I am just as happy that day as I am the day that I very first started riding. So being able to see other people enjoy it, a group of 10 other people enjoy it, it was great.
Yeah. I mean, it was a lot of fun, and they did teach you a lot of things that will carry over, whether you know how to ride a bike or not. Ouch. But something hit my leg. But I do think, it was very fun and very informative, and I think that every person should take it. It can only make you a better rider. It can only give you more tools when riding.
For sure. After 24 years of riding and never taking the course, and just so everybody on YouTube or anybody watching this knows, I rode for 23 years without an endorsement. So I had my permit for whatever it is, 18 months before it expires. Back in 04, 05, I'd had my permit. Outside of that, I just rode. It was kind of an inconvenience to go schedule your appointment, and I never got a ticket for it, so I just thought, well, I'm fine. Well, when we started riding more about a year ago or a little year ago, and you were riding on the bike with me all the time, that's when I thought, well, I need to give it. So I went ahead and took a test. Now, you went in our earlier conversation before I turned the camera on, we had talked a little bit about, or you had asked me a question, if I thought the test was harder at the DMV versus at the class.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. 100%. The test is harder.
I think that the skills they had you do at the DMV were different, weren't they?
The skills at the DMV were more technical. But two reasons I think it was harder is, number one, I'd never taken it before. I didn't know what to expect when I went up there to take it. Right? So I couldn't practice it. Number two, you're practicing the skills that you learned for the test all weekend long.
Yeah.
So,
and they're coaching you and they're giving you tips and advice, and I mean, truly, it was a really good experience. Yeah, it was a good experience.
So, one thing, you talked about COVID earlier.
Yeah.
So, with COVID, one of the things that is different, that I know is different because I didn't take it, but I knew people that did take the course, is you don't have that classroom training. It's an e-class, so it's all online.
Yeah.
Now, most time when you take stuff online, it's outdated, it's terrible, it's boring. I really thought the MSF, e-course was probably the best online course I've ever taken.
It was good. I mean, for us, because there was stuff that we already knew, like where your brake lever is and where your throttle is, like some of those things are like, seriously. But for someone, because there were people with us who had never been on a motorcycle and likely really didn't know, I think even one of them said that before they took the e-course, I think that there was even one person who said that they didn't know which side of the bike or where things were until they did that e-course. So it was a good one in that it really explained and walked through everything. I mean, and even you as a veteran rider learned something with the T-clocks, and while those were things you did, like to have a name for it and to walk through each of the things, that's pretty cool.
For sure, and me being a veteran rider, seeing what all the new riders, oh man, that's going to have us go down and make a U-turn.
Yep.
Knowing what I did on a daily basis, on a ride basis, on a weekly basis, whatever, knowing all that stuff that I do, seeing that...
Watch the hole.
Yeah, that's a bad one. That's so to hit it. Seeing all that stuff, I was really happy to see all that being taught to new riders. But from what I understand, the Motorcycle Safety Foundation is all established and all written by riders. So it's not like you've got a bunch of newbies out there or people that don't know what they're talking about or just read it in a book putting it together. So I think that's what's so great about the course. So all in all, we've been talking about this for a little while, so I want to wrap this one up so people don't get bored of watching it. From a new rider's aspect, you think it was definitely worth taking, correct?
Yeah, 10 out of 10 recommend. I think everyone should have to take it.
So from a veteran rider, if you're a veteran rider and you've never taken the course, I highly recommend it. Now, it's not something that you have to take or anything like that, but I highly, highly recommend taking the course. On top of that, I feel the same way Jess does. I really honestly think that I really think that anybody getting a motorcycle endorsement should be required to take the class. You know, you have to take driver's ed to drive a car. Mm-hmm. So why would you? Here we go. I'm shifting my hips to make my low speed turn. But no, I really honestly think that if you have to take a class to get a general driver's license, you should have to take the class to get a motorcycle endorsement. 100%. Yeah.
I mean, and anybody can ride straight. Like, anybody can ride fast. Anybody can ride. Riding is not difficult. But learning the technical side of those slow maneuvers and the technical side of making quick decisions while riding, your braking, things like that.
With all that being said, Jess's opinion and my opinion as well is you definitely should take the class. It is definitely worth, and whether you take that through Harley or you take it through a local community college, it's the same class with the same rules, with the same curriculum. So
Yeah.
it's going to be great, and I think anybody should take it. So 1 out of 10. 10 out of 10 for sure, Jess?
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, and as a veteran rider, also 10 out of 10. So, we'll be doing some more videos, and hopefully I'll have them all uploaded in the next couple of weeks from our ride to Gatlinburg. We're going to have a lot of time, a lot of seat time, to have a lot of conversations about a lot of different things. So, you'll get to know Jess and myself a lot better in the next couple videos.
So,
How you doing?
good.
You got a boyfriend?
No.
Got a husband? Can I be there for this weekend?
Could be my husband for the rest of my life.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Go to the chapel and we're gonna get married.
Go to the courthouse and It's all good. I wouldn't have our life any other way. Maybe be a little further along than we are now, but that's what it is.
It's worked for us.
It's worked for us. It's our life.
And to be honest, if we had went through with decisions we thought we were supposed to make, we would not be where we're supposed to be.
Oh no.